plate, trying to understand. And I found that for missing the distance for 0.1 nautical mile, I'm getting inclined winds change for 2 knots or something like that.
0.1.
Yeah, just for 0.1, the length of the one leg, which is multiplied by 4, let's say 0.4. So because whatever your error, if you are doing with one leg, it's multiplied by 4 is the same leg is used 4 times. And for that reason it's quite important to be sure, either with the GPS or, it happened to me that when we are using this tracking, we were on the race committee boat and there was a guy setting up the mark and saying I was on 1.6 mile. And we were looking on the tracking and said, no, you are on 1.4. No, I'm on 1.6. He said, I have GPS, we have tracking. No. Then he came back to the race committee boat and went back again and realized that he had the GPS set on the land miles instead of nautical miles. But it's, it may happen, and then you rely to this number, you enter this number and you calculate everything, and your implied wind is what's going on. You have to be careful on things like this.
How do you, on championship level, how do you measure the wind direction?
How you measure normally with anemometer and huh?
IKP.
Well, the anemometer, and then you still. I think I have one of this this anemometer that gives you actually the strength and compass and direction. You may have this, and it would be good if you have this. And basically also, the instruments like you have on the boat, you may have it on your race committee, and you make a note every 15 minutes or every 10 minutes, and you have to follow the race. When if you are the good race officer, this is not particularly different from what you are doing for one design already in the class, because you also want to follow. Boats are going on that side. There is no, with this side is better or this side is better. It's not big problem. So this is
in my long range race, when I have marks quite remote, like 100 miles, should I measure wind direction over time?
No, you should probably use this. You don't want to use this. I mean, because you may not expect that on all this leg you will have all the time on the same condition. That's why we can come to the simple option. You can go to the simple, that is time on time, which is
or for this doubling race, the 400 miles race, would you use the Ocean for PCS?
Yes, you may. But frankly, and I'm always saying, if it is something that you want to try, or you don't know how it works, and if you have the results of previous year, use the software and try to rescore, and then see what the results will be. And we'll rescore it with different options. Use time on time, time on distance option for PCS, and then you'll see. We were discussing yesterday, we may say that the measure of if the rating system is doing good is that the deltas in corrected times should be quite small. It is, I would say that I, with general in principle agree. I also agree that it's hard to put it, this is, let's say, more in theory, because if we have a race like this, with all the boats sailing perfectly, just to their performance, what will be the result? Everyone will be tied in corrected times.
Yeah.
So it's so the difference in corrected times is not really, it's partially defined by the quality of accuracy of the rating system, but it of course is have an effect of the quality of the crew and both how they are. So this is the thing, and this is how we go on the single time on distance number. Is as we said on the certificate, you have the one that is coastal long distance and one part that is windward leeward. Windward leeward, as I said, means completely 50% to windward, 50% here. Everything else, coastal long distance, including ground to cans in the small bay, it's always more likely to be coastal long distance. Here is how this is calculated. So there is always a question how this number is calculated. There is some percentages of bit VNG 6 and 8, 12 and 16 nodes, and when you take all these percentages and all together you get this one single number. Again, the question is why this is calculated as this, or is this correct? There is no answer to that question. Because you simply, to correct one number, you have to estimate somehow conditions on this, because we are not constructing the course as we said. And now, how much the actual course will be according to this, it's hard to say. I mean, if you have the long distance race that is reaching all the time from point A to point B, and you are reaching, you set up the sails and you go one day on the same day. Very probably you may have a problem in this. Because the reaching part of this is, I don't know, 10%. So if your all race is 12 knots, 120 reaching, in your rating, this is 15%. Theoretically, in cases like this, you may construct a course. You may say, okay, this is my new course model. And this is how I will calculate it. But generally, this is, as I said, all these simple options are simple, but not as accurate as it will be. And as long as you have different type of mixes of beat, reach, run, you still can use this. It's not a problem.
Do you, out of your practice, you also organize your long distance races and so on? Do you say in notice of race which type of the scoring will you use?
Normally it's in setting instructions. And normally, and frankly, to be completely honest, I was doing performance line for Thousand Islands race for 3 years, and generally worked okay. Generally, and I didn't have big problem. And since now it's introduced, I am still slightly concerned to go to Ocean for PCS or to keep it to simple single number, because it's the most reason behind is that during that race you may have 25 changes of wind, strength, directions, and everything. Mm-hmm. It's if you do the Ocean for PCS, that means that your numbers are calculated by this, and there is some course model behind it. As far you go far from that course model, you may have different strange results.
But they say, aren't you worried if you go to the triple number, right?
No, the triple number also for long distance race, I would be risky. I would go for a single number, and I say, okay, this is the single number, guys. That's you have, at the beginning where you are, and then that's it.
Why?
It's,
Why?
Because
I cannot, if I have the race of 270 miles that can change several times.
So which number to use?
Which number to use? I cannot construct the course. I cannot say, okay.
All the time it's more than 20 knots.
It is more than 20 knots, but I cannot, it's not a problem that's more than 20 knots. How many? Because one boat will sail in one wind, another boat will sail in another wind. There's big spread between the boats. There can be, you start, and actually on that race, we start with 0 knots almost. Then you go this, then after 50 miles, there is nice breeze, and everyone starts to go. So there are too many changes on the wind conditions that you may say, first, either this is light, heavy, or medium, or there are too many changes in the wind direction and the construction. Every boat is literally almost sailing its own course.
And the problem is that you have to decide before the race starts.
You have to decide before the race starts.
Which scoring option you use. So it's a bit risky for the very long races to get a triple number.
If the wind change, you can change.
Yeah, but
okay, but how much the change?
Yeah,
how change?
And how many times? I mean, the triple number, we come late now to the triple number, again, you may use it. It's a good tool because it's not so, it's better than just a single number, not so complicated as PCS. But then on the end you have to select was light, medium, and heavy. At least 3 ranges you have to say for, I don't know, for a race of 20 miles around. Very probably you may say which of these 3 ranges you have, and or even change it, but if needed.
What would be the pitfall of using the ocean for PCS for your race?
The only thing is I have to do some rescoring and trying to understand. My only concern is that, as I said, there is too many changes of the wind direction, and
So
actually
the
the
ocean
model.
for PCS will take the average.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
if you have a long parking lot and
And
stop,
which is
then this will drop the inclined.
Inclined wind,
to
definitely.
knots, because it's more
and everyone will be.
exposed.
So last year we started with almost no wind. Then, you know,
But this
eventually pick up the
same was
wind.
with the performance line, right? It was also averaging the.
Yeah, yes, on some way. But then on the end, you know, last 10 miles they spent 3-4 hours without wind. So
Yeah.
when you have significant differences in the wind strength and directions and conditions for different boats, then I would always go to the one single arm. And still, we can publish this in the notice of race, and I frankly will do some rescoring and testing, but I'm more inclined to go to the single arm.
Okay.
And I know if we do the long distance race on the Europeans, within as we are planning 10